We're in beautiful Barbados, moving from Antigua to another island that is well known for their lovely beaches. And of course, yachting and boating is very familiar on the west coast. A bit of a look at how things were shaping up just over the last couple of days as we get settled for some cricket. T20 style. After all the 50 overs we've had, it's now time for the first Women's T20 International. West Indies women versus Australia women live from Kensington Oval. We're playing for this trophy, and everyone is looking forward to what should be an exciting series. After all, T20 cricket is in the air, and we are at Kensington Oval with a live shot. Getting set and getting ready for this first match between two teams who have a history of fantastic rivalry. In fact, it was in the T20 World Cup, the finals of 2016, that these two would have met. On that occasion, the West Indies women got the better of the Aussies, but that was the only time they ever beat the Aussies. Would things change in this series? And that's in 10 outings as well. All right, so we got a beautiful night on hand. Who's going to bat first? Let's go for the toss. Of course, is Meg Lanning from Australia, Stefani Taylor from the West Indies, and our match referee is Rion King. Toss, please. Heads is the call. And it's a tail. Stefani, you've won the toss. What are you going to do?
We'll have a bat.
What are the changes have you made in terms of who's going to be out from this particular T20 side?
So we have Mohammed and Ramarak will be out for this game.
All right, so you're going to bat first. How's the pitch looking in your opinion?
I think at Barbados is always a good pitch. We just want to get the first use and set a decent total on the board and go out and defend it.
No luck in the 50 overs, but T20 seems to be a bit more of a West Indies women's game. Are you comforted by that fact?
Oh yeah, we love T20s. So I'm hoping that in this first game would be the turnaround for that.
All right, well, all the best.
Thanks.
And we've got Meg Lanning. Meg, you didn't win the toss. If you had won, what would you have done?
Yeah, look, we would have probably had a bat as well, but it looks a really good deck. I don't think it's going to change too much throughout the whole match, so hopefully we can start off well with the ball and get a couple of early wickets.
First match in T20s, who's out?
Carey, Graham and Vlamink miss out for us.
You played very well in the 50 over. How's your T20 form for Australia?
Yeah, look, we played pretty well in T20s against England, which is a little while ago now, so it's our first test for a little while. So and we know the West Indies are a strong side in this format, so we're looking forward to a good challenge tonight.
All right, well, all the best.
Thank you.
So once again, the news from the middle is that the West Indies have won the toss and they're going to bat first. Okay, so the West Indies batting first. Look, Henry Wallace, who's with me at the West Indies team.
Yeah, well, you see that Brittany Cooper is there and debuts there for Grimman and also Gajnabi. So that should be interesting to see how they really respond. The captains asked them to take first knock, so we'll see how they respond.
And the Australian women team, of course, is pretty strong. Meg Lanning, we all know what she can do, and so too is Elise Healy, followed by Rachel Haynes, Elise Perry, who's had a very good time in the 50 over. She was in great form. Beth Mooney, a bit on the slow side, but she will look to catch up in the T20s. Ashley Gardiner, Jess Johansson, Delisa Kiminitz, and Georgia Wareham, and Megan Shute and Erin Burns, they bring up the rear. How is this pitch going to play? Let's have a look and see at the pitch report.
Well, we're here in the middle where it's very, very hot indeed, and it has been like that for a little while here in Barbados. So I think the ground staff would have been very pleased to have that sort of weather to produce this surface here. And no surprises here that we have a pitch that's extremely hard as well. It's very rock hard, and we can see that there is some live grass as well, which is rolled in. It's brown, but it's live grass, so that's rolled in. And we got some bare patches as well in between. So what we'll look to see if the pace is going to be consistent. We expect that there'll be a bit more pace from what these two teams have encountered in the previous matches. This surface should make the ball come onto the bat a little bit more, but we look to see if there's any inconsistency in the pace in this particular matchup.
So first ball, and the West Indies women are off the mark. We've got Kashana Knight and Brittany Cooper. Megan Shute, she's the bowler.
But just as good a start as you could want to get off the mark first delivery.
Midland leg, just a little this way. It's two legs. Just right arm over.
So Megan Shute is the opening bowler here for Australia. and Brittany Cooper on strike.
Straight away, Hendy, you will recognize that the pitch is bone hard, like you said. The question is, Brittany Cooper and Kishonna Knight, they're known to be more graphers, even though Kishonna in recent times has opened up her shoulders.
Well, with a bit more pace in this pitch, you know, as you said, they're probably more grafters here, but with the Australian fast bowlers, you probably get a bit more value for the strokes. I would say there's that live grass I spoke about, and just one or two bare patches. I don't think that's a major concern, but you can see a few cracks as well, but it's such a rock hard surface.
Bowler, shoot, gets a wicket. It's Brittany Cooper looking for a big drive, no foot movement at all, and the Australians have got an early wicket.
Not the start that the West Indies would have wanted, and I didn't detect if there was any real movement there from Schultz, and it just seemed that she was a little late on the shot and playing slightly across the line as well. So disappointment there for Cooper. She's gone for a duck. West Indies women 1 for 1.
So a very fit-looking Stefani Taylor. She's been the shining light of this team for so many years. Age 28, 97 matches, highest score of 90, 2,844 runs. Good average to a 36. She's got to do something tonight.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent average there. And, you know, sometimes you wonder too, Barry, you know, what Stefani is looking to get out of this series. She's lost so many of her top players for various reasons who are not able to play in this tournament. But, of course, Stefani would always want to make sure that she is head and shoulders above the others, and she's able to show her skills in this company as well. She is a world-class player, so that in itself will be as much motivation as you could want.
Well, only Susie Bates has played more T20s than her, and Susie Bates, of course, is from New Zealand. She has the Nelson, ironically, 111. This is Stefani's 98th. There seems to be a bit of a break. I'm not quite sure what is the issue. Let's have a look at the pitch again, because the pitch is going to be a very pivotal part of this particular match.
Well, yeah, it says there's that nice covering of grass as well. And with that rock-hard surface that we spoke about, we still expect the ball to really come onto the bat. So I think that there's something in it there for the bowlers as well with the new ball. And we've seen that already with Schultz already picking up a wicket.
So you're not missing any cricket. There's just a slight issue with the inner circle, I think, the perimeter. Not quite sure that that's straight. The on-field umpires there are Jonathan Blaze and Verdane Smith. And they're having a chat with one of the curators. Let's have a look at that wicket again. And this is where Brittany Cooper made a big error. Look at the foot movement, virtually none.
Yeah. Well, there's that big gap as well between that front pad and the bat.
25
So
yards,
that was
75 feet.
obviously very inviting, and Schultz had needed no second invitation, and that ball just going between the bat and pad, and that death rattle, which every batter hates to hear.
Stretch it, stretch it, stretch it, stretch it, stretch it.
So we just seem to have a bit of a infringement in terms of the circle. It's not measured correctly, it looks like, Andy.
Well, it seems as if it
Put
may
it on the
not
ground,
have
put it
been
on the ground and
accurately
stretch it out.
calculated.
How would they have picked that up? I mean, after two balls, how would you pick that up?
Well, I
Let's
think,
verify that
you
one.
know, it may very well have been one of the fielders who would have been in the circle and probably recognized that there may be a little bit, it feels a little bit closer than usual.
All right.
And sometimes
Yeah,
that can happen.
Well, the looks of it is she was farther than usual because they brought it in. So obviously she might have recognized, look, I'm almost touching the fielder at the backward square leg boundary. What's going on? And they're now actually, that's Jonathan Blades as the on-field umpire. And then we've got Stephen Taylor, who's the third umpire. He's there. Christopher Taylor, correction. Chris is there talking to Jonathan about the correct measurement of this circle. 30 yards, is it, Andy?
Yep, it is. It's unfortunate that they will now have to rectify that.
Yeah, because he measured 30 to start, and I told him it was 25. Right, so it must be a straight line drawn in those two now.
That's Verdane Smith.
With what? Just
Verdane Smith.
I think that
of
one is
course,
good.
he is from Jamaica. He's the on-field umpire. And we're trying to get this situation rectified. I'm sure that with all these experience of this team, that is something that will be definitely rectified as soon as possible. I saw them measuring early on before the match started. Of course, I saw we were out there together, and we saw them measuring with the particular tape and the rope.
So what they would have done now is the two semicircles joined by two straight lines.
no, this side is good. This side is good.
So we look at this batting order. Of course, Stefani Taylor, she's just come in, hasn't faced yet. Still got Renise Boyce, who's the keeper to come. Natasha McLean, she hits it pretty hard. Stacy-Ann King as well. Chenille Henry, Shanetta Gramon, and Afi Fletcher, and Shakiba Gajnabi. Kashana, just under in terms of age of Stefani, but way behind in terms of runs. One has got 2,800, the other's got 307.
That's it.
Yes, somewhere to go to catch up with Stefani Taylor, who has been outstanding for West Indies women, and not the sort of start
Right arm over.
that the West Indies women would have wanted. And that period of disruption there, West Indies would hope that it just did not disrupt the concentration of Stefani Taylor.
All right, we're ready to resume. Megan shoot to continue. Right in the area there with Stefani Taylor just forced to come on the front foot. Have a look. It is T20, but you can bet your life that Stefani Taylor is the kind of batsman who can get things going once she plays herself in.
I think she look at her team as well, and there's not a great deal of experience in that batting lineup, so a lot will rest on her shoulders.
A quick single. And I think she's run out. There's no one to go up the stairs to, so Jonathan Blades has to make the decision. He hasn't made it as yet. They're still appealing, and Jonathan Blades has not made a decision, or has he? Oh, he's now signal out. I'm not sure what he was waiting on. I think he was asking.
Well, he was pointing his ears. I don't know if he didn't hear the appeal, but but the Australians were very confident indeed that that night was run out. Blaze was a little, well, I don't know what.
Looked like a simple decision. I don't think it was a run. That was a very nervous single from Stefani Taylor. A good throw, good keeping. And in the end, it looked like to be a good decision, but pretty straightforward, I would have to say. I'm wondering if Jonathan Blades was wondering if there was a third umpire, because he seemed to be suggesting that if they were going to go upstairs, and he wasn't certain. Do you get that impression?
Well, there's a third umpire, but not a television umpire, so we weren't able to offer him our feed. So big disappointment there for West Indies women, losing their second wicket. And I think, Barry, too, the key there was there was a left-hander at that backward point position.
Yes. I would have to say that that was not a single handy. It was a very risky run. Very, very risky run there. And now Elise Boyce, she is the keeper on the team. She's perhaps out there a bit earlier than she would have anticipated. Looks a bit nervous.
Understandably so.
Right arm over.
Just the first over, and she's already at the crease. But I think if you can choose someone to be batting with, maybe Stefani Taylor would be.
Elise Perry comes and goes. That's going to be the first boundary of the night. A West Indies women boundary. I almost said a hero maxim.
A bit of a gift there. A bit of swing. But the full pitch delivery. And at the start of your innings, the sort of gift that you're looking for. So a bit of swing there, but got to the full. And the important thing was that she picked the gap.
That's a very good delivery. I wouldn't want to give any hints or any clues to the Aussie women, but if you know the history of Stefani Taylor well, you can really move that fielder who's at the fine leg and put a sweeper, because she's going to manipulate that field every time, Stefani Taylor.
Well, I think deliveries like that, it may be worth the while to maybe have a little bit more support in that slip cordon as well for Elise Perry.
Getting the ball to swing as well, Hendy, which is very impressive.
It's very humid out there, and I think that would be very encouraging for Elise Perry to just hone in on that off stump, maybe a tad wide on that occasion, but always very encouraging when there's some movement with that new ball.
She's a really good all-rounder. She scored a lot of runs in the 50 over. She's got 1,000 runs at this level, 103 wickets as well. They should push for two, but I'm not sure if Boyce is good enough to come back. She's going to get there. So some much needed runs, but the West Indies women in early trouble, still Hendy losing those two early wickets. 7 for 2.
And that in essence would cause a bit of nerves as well. But Elise Perry, who has been outstanding for Australia in all forms of the game.
Very close there to be called wide, but she got away.
It started wide of off stump and just inside that blue line that the umpires used as a guide.
The thing about it is, it was pitched just inside the line, but when it swung, it ended up outside of the line. But it was where it pitched, not where it ended, I guess. So a good call there from Jonathan Blades.
Yeah, and I think it looked to see, where it was when it passed the batter as well.
This is really good bowling. Besides the full toss, this has been a top over. After 2, we've got 7 for 2.
Well, that last delivery, as you see, generous movement there for Elise Perry. And if anything, maybe a little bit wide. So that start for West Indies, not a good one. Kaishona Knight being run out there at the top, but Brittany Cooper was the first to go, leaving a really big gap between the batting pad. So a lot of work there to do for this batting lineup at the moment.
A bit surprised that Anisa Mohammed not being utilised in this match. She is there in third from the left in the yellow overalls.
Middle and off. Come some more.
115 wickets at this level, and she's sitting down.
Off stump there. Right arm over.
The Schultz to continue. We didn't detect much movement from Schultz in her first over.
Well, she didn't need it. She certainly breached the defense of a swinging Brittany Cooper.
Yeah, what we've seen so far is that she's extremely accurate. So she's honing in on those stumps. And there was Cooper not tight enough in defense.
No ball.
And that's a no ball. Should be a free hit as well.
Free hit.
So umpire Smith just signaling the free hit for the no ball. And just clearly over that popping line, or popping crease. So let's see how Boyce will deal with this. It's a good opportunity to get off the mark.
Oh, that's a big shot. That's gone for 6. Didn't think she had it in her, but she picked it up really well, Hendy Wallace. And that's a mighty 6 to get things going in the West Indies in double figures as well.
Well, there's a big smile on the face, and you can understand that, because the opportunity to get off the mark, and she made excellent contact. And the boundaries have been brought in a bit here at Kensington Oval, but that was a nice clean hit, and clearing the boundary by some margin.
Popped up in the air and caught. Bit of an anticlimax there. I was looking forward to some more of those 6s, but instead is another wicket. And Renice Boyce is gone, and the Windies women continue to be in some trouble. They're now 14 for 3.
Well, I think she got herself in a bit of a tangle there. And we spoke about the extra pace that we may get on this pitch, and not really getting into a good position there. Maybe a bit of a leading edge as well, but credit to Schultz as well in their follow through to get across there and to pluck that catch.
Come again, ladies.
Well, if there's one thing you can say about the Australians, whether they're playing men's cricket or women's cricket, is the fact that they're very fit, they're very athletic.
He's not lying. It looked like I thought it was about you.
14 for 3. She's gone for 6.
So Stacy-Ann King coming to the crease, 36 years of age. She's been out of the setup for a while, but some experience there with some 79
Right arm
matches.
over the wicket.
Thank you.
Not too much to shout about the average, but just shy of 1,000 runs. So maybe that's a bit of a target for her in this game.
Dead ball, dead ball.
Someone just crossed in front of the sight screen, which obscured her vision. The thing about Stacy-Ann King, she's also been doing a lot of broadcasting recently.
It's all right.
She didn't play in the Women's World Cup that was played here last year, but she did a very good job as a broadcaster. And she's off the mark. Will it be pulled back? No. It's gone for 4. And the West Indies women now move on to 18 for 3.
Stay back, Pez. Thursday, come on.
Well, that was a confident shot. She's batting outside of the crease and using the pace of that delivery. And a desperate lunge there to pull that one back, but not successful. So immediately, Barry, we can see that the batters are getting full value for the shots. The outfield seems to be fairly quick. And with the smaller boundaries, I think Boyce would have been looking to be there a lot longer. She capitalized on that small boundary the ball before.
The thing you want to do is just to be very selective with your running between the wickets. You don't want to create any unnecessary runs that are not there. Oh, that's a loud shout. Chance for run on as well, and I think she's got on the second one. The LBW was a no-go. She got away with that, but not the run out. 2 unnecessary run outs for the West Indies women quite early. And Stacey King is gone after what looked like another promising start.
Well, a total confusion there. The appeal for LBW, and very often we see this with the batter trying to get away from the scene of the crime, and a direct hit from the fielder coming in from the cover position. Burns it was, and the direct hit, Burns is gone for just 4. And the West Indies women really tottering now, 18 for 4.
Oh, well, this is a sad situation because there was certainly a lot of promise there. I saw great promise in Renice Boyce, Stacy-Ann King, and needless runouts. All 2 of those runouts were needless, really. Seemed to be a lack of situation awareness. The new batsman is Natasha McLean. She swings it pretty hard, but she's coming at a time where they need a bit of consolidation, believe it or not. Even though it's T20 cricket, they need someone to bat through the overs. This could be over 10 overs if they continue like this.
Well, if they continue like this, it would be, you know, a very short game indeed. But as you said, McLean does like to put bat to ball, but I'm not sure that's what's required at this stage. And the real test will be whether she's got the defense to just try and hang in there.
So Perry to continue, only her second over. Captain on strike. Let's look at some of the women that they've lost for whatever reasons. Melissa Aguilera retired from this version of cricket. Was it earlier this year or was it last year? Yeah. Yeah, she retired during the World T20. That would have been last year, October, November-ish. Then we had Deandra Dotting. Oh, that's a big miss, Deandra Dotting being injured.
Well, Deandra Dotting is a world-class all-rounder, so, you know, she would leave a gaping hole in any team. Here's that edge, and I really think that they've missed a trick in not having another catcher in that slip cordon with Perry getting this sort of movement.
Yeah, you did make the comment that they should have had two slips with her bowling those away swingers.
Well, at 19 for 4, maybe even worth the while to have 3 slips.
Right here's off.
Yeah, you're right. Meg Lanning might want to think to herself, look, let me continue to attack and not be so defensive. Only allow 2 fielders on the outer circle. Beaten for pace and a bit of swing there as well. I definitely support you, Hendy. They need that second slip.
Well, I think that's a delivery that would beat most top order batters. And not only was she late on the shot, but I think she was in a different country, going past the outside edge quite comfortably.
That's the captain there, first slip. Should be a wide. Yeah, wide signal there to take the total now to 20. Natasha McLean is looking to whip it into the onside.
And that's the danger when you start a little bit too straight. The swing doesn't continue towards the off. If anything, it seemed to go a little bit the other way and down the leg side.
That one was just pitched a little closer to the off stump. She negated the swing by the movement of her bat and her foot.
Well, I think even with that, she was probably a little late on the shot as well. And the temptation there for Perry is to, you know, try to hone in on those stumps. Forget about the outside edge, but maybe try to hone in on the stumps and maybe beat her for pace.
So this is really good bowling from the Australia women. They've not only looked very fit, very agile, but they've maintained an impeccable line and length, just 1 wide in the 3 overs and 5 balls so far. And they're fielding 2 early run-outs have upset the apple cart quite early, and the West Indies women find themselves tottering on 20 for 4. Elise Perry, one of the best all-rounders in women's cricket at both levels. That one is pulled and that's gone for 4. In the gap. The only person there that was threatened really was the umpire. He can't field.
That is over.
That was a very well timed. She really got onto that short ball very quickly indeed. And a couple of bounces into that boundary. And that was great contact. So all single figures at the moment for the West Indies women. Stefani Taylor, as always, holds the key if there's going to be any sort of a substantial score. But that last shot from McLean is one that will certainly give a lot of confidence, not just to McLean, but the rest of the team as well.
Bowling change, she's right arm over. Come a little. 2 legs.
24 for 4. We can have a bowling change. Delisa Kimmins is going to come on to bowl. Shoot, just taking a bit of a break. And now they've put the sweeper, as I might have intimated. Just one run. A good time to look at the lowest totals in T20 cricket now with the West Indies 25 for 4. The lowest has been 6 versus, that was Mali women versus Rwanda women, and that was this year actually.
No, that's too far.
Mali don't have a very good
That's
team
it
at
right
all
there.
because they have the top 3
Right
lowest
arm
scores,
over.
6, 10 and 11. Followed by 14 and 17. Let's look at some of the real teams though.
That's just outside.
Because we're just seeing Mali, Japan, Germany, who are not known for cricket but for football. Right, Sri Lanka 59 for 8. They also made 57 in the match. Oh, that was a very good shot, almost a catch. It went through her hands and is gone for 4 more runs. Natasha McLean put in bat to ball and gets a boundary.
Well, if those last 2 shots are any indication of the intent of McLean, she is prepared to put bat to ball. And again, we look at see how she made great contact. Was in the air for a while.
Firm shot, should get to the boundary, and that's 4 more. This is good batting from Natasha McLean. A very good response to what has been a dominant start from the Australian women. McLean having back-to-back boundaries, and perhaps now the captain might have been saying, should I have taken off shoot?
Well, yeah, again, you really want to use all your resources, but McLean there, you know, sometimes we say that the best form of defense is attack, and maybe that's, you know, her forte.
Much better delivery. That one also kept low, Hendy. Is that a good sign?
But not much pace there from Kimmins. And after being struck for 2 fours, Taylor just watching the proceedings from the non-striker's end.
They wouldn't risk a single there at all, even though it might have been tempting. Those 2 run-outs, they would want to try and use their common sense at this stage. She swatted that in the air, but it's not gone far, just high. Catch dropped. Opportunity goes a begging there. The West Indies women get a very lucky break that should have been taken. In the end, it was dropped, and Natasha McLean gets a very lucky life.
Yeah, going for that big shot again, and you can see the bottom hand coming into it, and the fielder had a good sighting of it, got into a very good position, but inexplicably wasn't able to hold on to it, so she'd be very disappointed having to miss that catch at the long on position.
That's Mooney that dropped that catch. So we've had 5 overs gone. Henry Wallace is leaving me for the meantime. Bowler! What a strong response there from Perry. She knows that Natasha McLean likes to swing her arms, and that was a Yorker that I'll tell you would have gotten most top-class batsmen out. I'm not going to give Charlene Taylor a moment to rest as she gets in the commentator's position. Charlene, that was a very good delivery from Elise Perry.
Good night to everyone. Yes, it was a very good ball, but I think she played around it also. But Natasha McLean was looking very explosive.
Yeah, we know she likes to hit the ball. We know she's very attacking. The West Indies women are in danger of having their lowest ever score at T20s. The lowest is 70. They made 70 for 8 against the England team, and that was in Hove in 2012. And Charlene Tate, who's been there, done that, former West Indies and Barbados women's player. How do you think Shanita Grumman should approach this position with her captain?
I saw her in the ODIs and she looked pretty well. So I think she should take the same approach. It's a lot of overs still to go, but this will be a very important partnership here right now.
Is she the kind of player to hit, or she's like more grafter?
No, she does hit, and she likes to go straight. So hopefully that she does the same thing as what she did in the ODI.
Well, this is her very first match at this level, so having said all of that, she's got to prove herself. Looks pretty solid after the first ball. Stefani Perry 2 wickets back to back. She is from the Republic of Guyana. That one is played fine. I think it's going to get into the boundary. Yes, it does. So 4 more runs there for the West Indies women. They need as many as they can get. Like I said, their lowest total at this level is 70, and now they're 38 for 5. Still not out of the woods at all. Thoughts of a single, but like I said earlier to Henry Wallace, Charlene, you don't want to push your luck. 2 run outs. These Australian women feel very well. The last thing they would want is the 3rd run out at this particular stage.
And they also have some strong arms, so you won't want to.
Oh, that was a pretty quick one. I don't have the speed gun, but I must tell you that that was a bit quicker than she anticipated.
Batters, roundabout.
Like you said, Barry, you don't want another run out at this stage. Try to build a partnership here right now, which is important.
I saw this young lady bat before. She didn't make a lot of runs, but I saw intent. So we've got 6 overs gone. The West Indies, if you just tuned in, they won the toss. They chose to bat first, and this is how things have gone. Knight was unnecessary run out for 1. Cooper went early. She was bowled for duck. Boyce, after swinging a 6, was caught and bowled by Shoot for 6, and then we just saw McLean being bowled by Perry, and prior to that King was run out after hitting a boundary. So some of these batsmen have got starts, but they just have not been able to continue. They've not been able to go on and build on those little starts that they've had. Another bowling change.
New bowler is right arm over.
Kimmins came on. She went for 10, and the captain has immediately removed her. They're going to bring on some spin. Georgia Wareham is going to come on. Sweeper is in operation, so just a single. She gets away with that. It was a pretty poor delivery.
This is where now experience will come in for Stefani to bat very deep in the innings and get the West Indies to a decent score.
Come back. Middle stump. Right arm over.
Sorry, Pez, drop back.
That was the last wicket. Tash McLean bowled all over the place, but it was a really good delivery. Well bowled. Australia, of course, are known for producing some good leg spinners. The captain wants a single. You're not going to get a single there. What would you advise her to do in terms of trying to work the strike around?
She will more have to go between cover. There's a sweeper and mid-on.
Again, a very loose delivery, and she got away with that. It was short, it was wide, and she didn't time it at all. Just a single. She tried to pull that more through mid-wicket. She's only able to get a single. Straight to the fielder to end the over. We've got 7 overs gone. The West Indies still in trouble at 40 for 5, but their captain is still there, Stefani Taylor. And Nada Grimmon has come in to try and steady the ship. Like I said, the last time I saw these two playing T20s, that was back in 2016. It was the final of the ICC Cricket World Cup. And this is how the card looked back then. When you look at the persons who would have starred, they're not playing. I'm talking about Deandra Dottin and Hayley Matthews. Well, Stefani Taylor did bat very well. She got 59 on that occasion. Meg Lanning and Elise Perry was also playing as well. And Healy. So they maintained that team pretty much. We've got another bowling change. Jess Johansson is going to come on. She's a left-arm spinner.
And that was the only win for West Indies against Australia in 10 matches.
And it was the most important. Oh, she slugged that. She'll get a couple of runs on. There's just one. Well, that would have been a run out. Had they have gone for that single, that would have been another run out that the captain would not have wanted, and it would have been her fault.
It's been good line and length for Australia so far.
And better fielding. Their fielding continues to be their hallmark. It has always been Australia's fielding has been sparkling. I mean, men's cricket, women's cricket. The Aussies are fit. They always know how to field well.
Singles are very hard to come by, so they need to figure out a way to get a straight rotating.
Yeah, and they've got to figure out pretty quickly as well, because they need runs. And that's a good way to get the single. Just played in the inner circle in the 30-yard. She's going to keep the strike, the captain. So Stefani Taylor goes to 9. And there were 10 rather on the West Indies women now 42 for 5 after 8. How's the pitch played so far, your opinion, Charlene?
Well, from my perspective, Perry had some bounce, but I think the West Indies didn't go about it as planned. Should look for more singles and, you know, keep rotating. It looked like a very good pitch.
Oh, that must hurt. That must hurt. Well, we've seen in the men's game now there's a concussion substitute, but there's nothing there for hitting your own colleague. She took it on the ankle. She's all right. Plugging that gap is always going to be crucial because Stefani Taylor is only going to be getting the single. That's a big edge. And just another run.
I think she wants to hit the ball a bit too hard, so she's not getting the timing that she wants.
Bit of a crowd beginning to assemble in the 3W stand, but they will be very disappointed with the score.
That's another dot ball. End of the over, 44 for 5 in 9.
Yeah, so these fans would have come out expecting, and perhaps at this stage, a bit more beef on the score of the West Indies women, or whoever would have batted first. But I think they'll be a little disappointed to see that they've lost 5 wickets, therefore just 44 runs.
There's also 37 dot balls from 4 to 5. So they need to do more rotating at this point.
Better stop.
I haven't seen her want to go there yet. See if she can do it.
She's hit that straight, but there's a fielder there. It's just a run. How important is it for Taylor to try and get most of the strike now as possible?
Catch. Hey, shoot off.
Well, as the most experienced player, she should take most of the strike. So what Gremlin would have to do is to look to rotate and give her the strike.
Should be a wide. That is a wide.
It's on a length.
Very wide, as a matter of fact.
Ah. Jono.
She's now got the sweeper up.
Catch!
That's in the air, dropping short. Rachel Haynes there should have perhaps just been in a bit closer to attack that to take a catch, but a single in the end. Should be wide again. So Johansson is just having a bit of a struggle with her line and length. Just a single, plugging that gap. 50 comes up finally for the West Indies women. They're 50 for 5 after 9.5. Like I said, the lowest score at this level is 70. They're appealing for the stumping. Umpire Smith says not out. Let's have a look at that. She was out. Her foot was in the air. I think he would have struggled there because he obviously doesn't have the benefit of the replay. But let's look at it again. She was beaten all ends up, foot in the air, bails came off, foot came down late. Very good wicket keeping. But umpire Verdane Smith didn't pick up that her foot was in the air. So 10 overs gone. We're going to have a double change in the commentary. 50 for 5, the West Indies women, is going to be Hendy Wallace and Roland Butcher.
Right arm wrong, right? Middle?
Yes, please.
That's middle.
Does she know you're there?
She's coming right arm roll.
Yes, where do you want D? Fancy, just a touch for this one. I reckon you could come too. And you're not too fine.
Yeah, thanks very much, Barry. Ashley Gardner will be coming into the attack.
Oh!
Looking to bowl around the wicket and immediately going past the outside edge. Maybe Stefani Taylor looking for a bit of turn. And say hello to Roland Butcher.
Yeah, good evening to you, Hendy. And at this stage, West Indies not very happy with this position.
Oh! Yeah.
The runner hasn't been great in the West Indies women's innings so far, but that was a pretty good run. And of course, Stefani Taylor, she's been there for quite some time now, 26 deliveries for her 14. But as we heard from Charlene earlier, she will really want to bat all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And yes, Taylor really, she is the key.
Yeah.
So the important thing, obviously, they want to keep the scoreboard ticking over. And I'm sure that the Australians will want to keep Stefani Taylor off strike as much as possible. And these players will know each other quite well. Stefani Taylor plays a bit in Australia.
Yes, and West Indies doing what they weren't doing earlier in the innings, actually picking up some singles now. That will cause a little bit of a problem to the Australians.
There's a big shot, and I think she's just got the gap. Excellent shot there. Placement was precise. So again, some confidence there being exhibited from the West Indies batters.
Yeah, very good shot. That one hit dead straight. The fielder coming around from long on obviously couldn't get there. Good boundary for the West Indies. And how do they need it? 57 for 5.
So a bit of a recovery there. At least we see some double figure contributions at the moment. And Grimond, who has just come to the crease, and she's already raced up to 14, but it's really been all Australia so far in this innings.
Absolutely, that card not looking ideal at this stage. And really, the Australian bowling card looked much better here. Schultz taking 2 for 12, 1 for Perry, she was 16.
There, just a bit of a mix-up again. And Grimond being over enthusiastic there, for looking for that non-existent single.
Yes, but I think that's what West Indies batsmen must do now. They must look for those singles.
Well, there we go now. That's a better single. Well, it's a single, and well judged on that occasion. But I think you're right, Roland. In the absence of the boundaries, the next best thing is to try and alternate that strike, keep the board ticking over with the singles. And McLean has relaxed the field somewhat. Of course, the power play period is off. So the invitation is there for the singles. As we said, these boundaries here have been brought in considerably, about 10-15 yards from where they normally are. And I think that will suit the Australians as well, because they've got some real power hitters as well. There's protection out there. So just a single.
Yes, but even while the boundaries are not coming, it's so important to pick those singles up. And that's what they've done really well in the last couple of overs. They've chipped away, picked up those singles, getting a bit of momentum in the innings.
The partnership now worth 25 runs. I think in the scheme of things, that's a bit of a consolidation for the West Indies. And with 8 overs after this, what do you think the West Indies women will be looking at?
I think, Andy, it's going to be very important that Stefani Taylor stays there to the end if they're going to get a score that Australia will have to fight hard to get. At this stage, I would say if they can get up to 100, they would have done very well.
Catch right!
Cries of catch it, but I think she's got enough on it to elude the fielder. They're just running back. So a welcome boundary for the West Indies. Taylor just flexing the muscles.
Yes, a pitched up delivery and it hits nicely. The field's in, so can't get back. So there's a welcome boundary there for the West Indies.
So he's having some discussion there now. Stefani Taylor clearly looking to pick her spots. 29 runs this partnership is worth.
New bowler coming on,
For the
left
3
arm
balls.
Yes, and Grimman playing her part in this partnership. Taylor's been there for quite a while, but Grimman certainly, she's added a little bit of impetus to the innings.
So change of ends there for Johansson, who would have felt she was a little bit hard done in her last over where there was an appeal for a stumping.
Yeah, just trying to hit that delivery too hard, Grimman. She's played her part in this innings, but she just needs to concentrate.
We haven't seen a great deal of spin from Johansson so far, but some variation, subtle changes in pace, what we've seen so far.
Oh yeah!
And his bowler. So again, we talk about the variation. That one a little bit faster, a slightly flatter trajectory, and I think the Grimman was deceived with the length of that delivery.
And certainly a lot straighter. Andy Wallace, as they say, a straight ball has a certain lethal quality about it. And you miss it and you're out, and that's exactly what's happened there on that occasion, swinging across the line. And another wicket go down at a time when the partnership was building nicely. Grimman goes for 50.
So West Indies women 63 for 6. Chanel Henry is a new batter. A highest score of 12, an average of just over 11. So it doesn't really inspire a lot of confidence as far as her batting is concerned. But Stefani Taylor is giving her all the instructions there as to what is required.
Yes, well, we've now got a all Jamaican partnership. So really, her captain is at the crease. So really what Henry needs to do now is to back her captain up and try to get West Indies over. But at 63 for 6, the pressure continues And
Left arm round the wicket.
a good wicket there for Johansson. As you said, she missed the opportunity in the last over when she should have had the wicket for the stumping, but didn't need the umpire.
Come again. Off stump.
Well, West Indies women run the risk here of not batting the 20 overs at the rate at which they're losing these wickets. And we must remind viewers that it's a pretty good surface.
Here we go.
Yeah, we have viewers from all over the world, in Australia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, Ireland, all over.
And India.
And they would have seen a very professional performance from the Australian women thus far. So that's now 13 overs completed. It was 63 for 6. So a sorry looking West Indies card. A major contribution so far from Stefani Taylor, which has always been the course for West Indies women, and a couple of scores there from McLean and Grimman lower on, but those early wickets certainly affecting West Indies women.
Absolutely. And the bowling here for Australia. Schutz, she's got the 2 wickets. 1 there for Johansson, 1 for Perry. And Australia doing a very good job in the field and backing it up with some good fielding as well.
That's going to be a wide. Umpire Blades will be extending the arms.
Yes, this delivery just looped up way outside the leg stump, and lucky to get away with that. I think the batsman was very disappointed didn't put that one away.
It's just going to be a single. But a little bit of turn there for Wareham as well. So that will be some encouragement for her. And we've spoken about this surface being very hard, so there might be a bit of bounce there for the wrist spinner as well. Looking for a very quick single and very well run indeed.
Yes, good understanding there between the 2 batsmen. Just dropped it on the offside. Immediate response from the partner and picked up an easy single. But as you said, a nice flighty delivery there, solid defensive shot and very good running.
Again, a bit of turn, but cramped for room on that occasion was Taylor. And you just get the impression she'd like to get after the leg spinner. And it's always exciting whenever we see a leg spin bowler, whether it's juniors, whether it's men, women. You always expect something to happen. And we see some spin and bounce there, but protection on the cover boundary, so just a single.
Yes, I think what would be in the back of Taylor's mind is she would want to get after the leg spinner, but at the same time, she wouldn't want to get out.
Need to hurry, and she does.
Another single there. Taylor, Stefani Taylor really carrying this innings here. Good throw coming in, but the batsman safely home.
And generally speaking, the Australian women have been very efficient in the field. We've not seen one drop catch so far, but the ground fielding has been quite good. This one is aerial. I think she's made very good contact indeed, and that's going to go all the way. So very authentic shot there from Stefani Taylor to end that over, going all the way for 6.
Yeah, that's an excellent shot. This ball is just a little bit wide, but an excellent cricket shot there, almost with a straight bat, and picked up the maximum. So she'd be very pleased with that. Now Taylor races on to 20th, and West Indies now starting Hendy Wallace to look as if they will get up to that 100 mark, which will, make it look certainly different than it did earlier on.
Well, if they get to 100 runs, that would be quite a recovery for West Indies women. But there's also be a psychological target on the board. So they say runs on the
Right
board.
arm
You never
roll.
know what would happen.
That's middle stop.
As you said, honey, you'll have something to work with, and that's the important thing now, really. Stefani Taylor must look to bat right through the innings.
So Gardner's back in the attack, the off spinner. Again, this style of bowling around the wicket to the right-handers. Another tight single indeed. But seems to be a very good understanding. You mentioned earlier, Butch, about them being Jamaican, so maybe there's a clearer understanding of the running between the wickets.
Yes, and good piece of fielding again, but as you said, that understanding, allowing the batsman to pick up the single.
Nice early call on that occasion. And Henry doing the right thing at the non-striker's end, at least backing up in the event that that call had come for a quick single. But nice early call there from Stefani Taylor.
Oh!
That wasn't far away from the leg stump. And Stefani Taylor looks a little bit surprised that umpire Smith did not signal a wide. But it may have something to do with the fact it pitched on and was very close to the leg stump.
Very close, just very close.
She'd be disappointed there. She didn't do better with that one, Stefani Taylor. It was short, but didn't quite get the timing or the placement.
And Gardner doing a good job here. Just restricting the batsman.
Oh, good ball.
Good over. Very good over indeed. And again, we see the variation, just pushing that one through a bit, and where the ball just sliding on and going through, and maybe Taylor looking to hit that one a little bit too hard. So clever bit of bowling there from Gardner. She'd be satisfied with that.
Yeah, very, very good over there by Gardner. The off spinner bowling around the wicket to the right-handed batsman, and she's now got 2 overs, which has just cost her 8 runs. So she'd be quite happy with those 2 overs so far. Doing a good job for her side.
Come around, Piers.
So Kimmis coming back into the attack. 2 overs for 16 runs. And a change of ends as well. She would have started originally from the Jewel Garner end. Oh, what an absolute stunning catch by Meg Lanning there at the cover position. That is out of the top drawer.
Very much so. Powerfully struck, and the Australians celebrating that, and so they should, because this delivery has been hit with a lot of power. But Lanning, she is going away there to his high above her head to the left, takes an excellent catch, and Australia gets the breakthrough.
And you can see the disappointment there for Chanel Henry, because she really got that one. She out of the middle of the bat, and I think when she made contact, she must have thought that that was going to be 4. But an absolutely stupendous catch by the Australian captain, bringing the end of that innings of Chanel Henry.
Stay straighter for this one.
Yeah.
So Shabika Gajnabi making her debut for the West Indies, 19 years of age. So this will be a bit of an initiation for her.
Yes, it will. Actually playing here at Kensington Oval. I mean, she'll be very pleased. There's a few people who have made their debuts here, Henry Wallace, and it's good to see her getting this opportunity. She's coming at a time when really West Indies are a bit under pressure. And
no doubt there are a bit of nerves there. And she would have seen that catch in the last delivery from McLean. Very well struck, and just look how she timed her jump to perfection. Offer for a quick single, and there's no pressure there, so she'd be delighted to be off the mark, Gajnabi. And I imagine that the non-strikers there know there'll be a bit of relief there for her.
Yeah, she'll feel a lot happier having got that first single, and more importantly to hand the strike over to Stefani Taylor. And but West Indies still not out of the woods yet, Henry Wallace.
But they're very much still in the woods. Well, of course, there's always hope with Stefani Taylor there. And I actually quite like the way the Australian women are attacking or choosing to bowl to Stefani Taylor. They're making a hit to the sweepers. They try and keep her off strike. That's going to be a wide.
Very much so. Very, very wide. Nice take by the keeper. But one more to the total. And Taylor really, it's a one batsman effort here at the moment.
Another easy single there for Gajnabi.
On did go finish here?
I'm just wondering if the Australians were happy to give her the single on that occasion and then try to bowl a dot ball to keep Stefani Taylor off strike.
Well, they might want to bring the field a little bit closer.
Well, that would have been a wide as well had Taylor left it alone, but she had to reach for it and wasn't able to capitalize. So that last delivery quite wide indeed, and going wider. She did well actually to get bat on it, but suffered with the timing, so not a very productive shot.
Yes, and this scorecard here not looking that bright, Henry Wallace. And just Stefani Taylor getting 29 and McLean 13. Grimman chipped in as well, but West Indies at this moment in time really under the gun. Australia doing extremely well.
Sorry, that's a bit of stop.
In the field.
Bowler's right arm round the wicket.
Oh.
Well, thank you very much, Hendy Wallace. Well, they have done one thing, and that's passed their lowest score, so it's now about trying to get at least 100. Taylor's still there. She's played a very good captain's innings.
Come on, Wolf! Right hustle, Wolf! Go!
Roland Butcher, how do you rate this innings from Stefani Taylor? 30 from 43?
I think it's been a very controlling innings. It's had to be, Barry, because the team has been under a lot of pressure.
Oh. Yes, Wolf.
Gajnabi herself has given the support required.
Not just that, Barry, but what I've seen of her so far, she looks to be a very intelligent player. She's just worked the ball around nicely.
Hit! Oh, hold on.
That could have been closer had it hit. The captain might have been found just inches out of her crease.
Yeah, very sharp piece of fielding. But again, Gajnabi pushing that ball into the onside, looking for a single and doing the right thing, but a good response by Ghana and really good cricket.
Speed!
At this stage, they should be pushing for 2 there. You've got to take the risk of getting 2 runs. 3 overs left, 83 for 7. Cannot underestimate the value that Stefani Taylor has had to the women's cricket in the Caribbean. When you talk about women's cricket, her name will go down as one of the best ever. I think I would have mentioned earlier that behind Susie Bates, she's the best in terms of all-time run score. Susie Bates, of course, that great New Zealander.
Yeah, she's been very, very valuable to the West Indies. I think she's just shy of 3,000, just shy of 3,000 runs. So she would have had an excellent career so far. Today, there's 31, now it's 2 4s and a 6. So really, she's been the one batsman that has looked the part tonight, Barry Wilkinson. And really, it's interesting to see how she will play these remaining 3 overs.
So the opening bowler has come back. Megan Shute, she's going to deliver now from the Malcolm Marshall end. She would have started at the Joe Garner end. And doesn't matter where she's bowling from, Roland, she continues to have that off-step nagging line and length.
Yeah, the little bit of bounce in this delivery here, really. 2 overs so far for the 12 runs. She's picked up 2 wickets. So she's done the job. And that ball just bouncing outside the off stump.
That's a healthy edge, but it's going to go down to the boundary for 4.
Yes, not where she wanted it to go, but at this stage she'll take anything, just swing, and luck going the part of the batsman here. It goes high in the air, and more importantly away from the fielder, and gets an important boundary for the West Indies.
Bit of a conference going on there between Shute and the captain, as well as Rachel Haynes. Quick single, good pressure. Rachel Haynes was unable to respond to that pressure, and that's what you've got to do at this particular stage. You've got to take some risk and definitely get as many runs as possible.
Yeah, Barry, I think Gajnabi's doing really well here. She just faced 10 deliveries for her 10, and you know, she's really doing just the right thing.
Really good shot. Almost 6, just inside of the boundary. So 4 runs there to Stefani Taylor. She might be eyeing a half century now.
Yeah, very good shot here. Didn't try to hit it too hard. Just timed it beautifully, and the placement was spot on. So she picks up another boundary, and West Indies inching close towards that magic 100, Barry.
Yeah, considering the total that they've had earlier, they were 12 for 4, 30 for 5. They've done really good to get to 93 for 7. Will they push it 2? No, I don't think Stefani Taylor approached that first run with the effort that she should have.
Yeah, I think in the end of the day, Barry, the decision not to go for the second run was a good one. Initially, she's looking for it. She's gone hard first one, then got to the end and realized that, nope.
Catch that one.
Again, this peels off the edge. Catch taken. That slip. Rather a short third man, really. And that's going to be a wicket there for the Aussies. 94 now for 8. Gajnabi gone for 10.
Yes, this pitched up delivery from shots. She goes for the big heave, gets a thick outside edge, high in the air. Nice catch taken above the head. And Australia picks up the 8th wicket and 3rd for shots. Gajnabi goes for 10. And it's now 94 for 8.
So the new batsman is Afi Fletcher.
Yes, and really Afi Highest score of 13. So she's not really going to set the place alight, Barry Wilkinson, unless she changes completely with an average of 10. But I guess she comes in at a time now really where there's just the 2 overs to go. So she's got to take a chance. Stefani Taylor, she has to take a chance now. And in these final overs, try and get as many runs as possible. And Schultz, 3rd wicket there. Gajnabi once more. Good catch there at short, 3rd man.
So Fletcher looking to get off the mark, but that would have been an ill-advised single, I can tell you that. Jonathan was definitely onto that quite quickly. She does so now, gets a single. 95 for 8.
Yes, more importantly, she gets Stefani Taylor back on strike.
That's pass middle.
And she needs to be on strike for most of these deliveries. She's on 36, perhaps iron and a half century.
That's Johnny. Like a stump choice for us here.
Delisa commence there is at that 45 on the short fine leg.
Yes, Johnny.
Just a single.
Throw it.
To get to 100 would be a bit of a moral victory for the West Indies women because, like I said, the situation for this entire innings has been wickets falling rapidly. That's one of the better deliveries I've seen for the night.
Yes, and yes, you're right in relation to the score, because at one stage West Indies were really struggling here, and Johansson this one slips.
Oh, they're going to take a single. I didn't think that Stefani Taylor would have been sweet on the single there because it's the end of the over, and I thought she would have wanted to get as much as a strike in the last over as possible, but they went for the run.
Yeah, I think it's take as many runs as you can, really. It's important to pick the singles up, and you know, so good run in. 97 for 8, and Taylor there on 37.
Jonathan, 4 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 11. She bowled really well, very economical, and she also took an important wicket when she got Grimman out for 15. So we've got the last over to start, and I think they'll be very happy with this. They've got Afi Fletcher on strike. Shoot is going to bowl the last over. So she began and she's going to finish. And they get the single. That's very important. Good cricket there from Afi Fletcher.
Yes, and Schultz looking for her 4th wicket. She's picked up 3 so far, so she'll be hoping to pick another one up in this over. At the same time, West Indies, as you said, just a couple of runs short of that magic figure for them, which perhaps they will feel gives them something to work with.
She didn't time that at all, just another run. But the score now 1 short of 100, so already if Australia were to bowl the West Indies women out now, they still have to get 3 figures. So that's pretty significant. How good is Megan Shoot in your opinion?
I think she's very steady. Nothing like Perry. I mean, Perry I thought bowled quite beautifully with good pace, nice action, and actually got the ball to swing. but she's fairly accurate. No pace at all, it's more accuracy.
I will have to note that she's the most expensive bowler in terms of the economy tonight. 6.82. The 100 comes up, a significant landmark. I never thought the West Indies would get there because they really struggled and they tottered in the innings, but they've managed to get 3 figures. One ball left. Bit of a stifled appeal there, Roland, but that was way down the leg side. Would have missed a couple of set of stumps. Well, she saved the best for last. What a quality shot there from Stefani Taylor. A huge 6 to end it. So we've had 10 fours and 3 sixes in the innings, and Stefani Taylor, in my opinion, played the best shot and saved it for the last.
Yeah, very good shot. That ball pitched up to the batsman, and Taylor just struck it nicely. And a good innings here by Taylor. Held the innings together, and she needed to, because West Indies were in serious problems. They're still not out of the woods by a long way, because 106 doesn't suggest that it's going to be too much for the Australians. But at the same time, I think she did a pretty good job.
I think Stefani Taylor did an excellent job. I mean, I thought that she was responsible for Kashana Knight being run out. It was a very ill-advised single. But when you look at how she's held this innings together, how she finished the innings and was able to get the 44 runs, I give her 10 out of 10 for that, because none of the other batsmen really supported her, and she really came to the fore.
Yeah, experience. There's no question.
A look at the wickets. This was Cooper first of all. Bowled. All ends up for Duck.
Very ambitious shot.
Boyce getting a free hit, and then this one just popped in the air, and she was out caught and bowled by Shoot. Stacey King should not have gone for this. She was not even looking at where the ball went. She was minding the non-striker. She was run out. McLean got a top delivery. Even though she might have played across the line, it was a good delivery.
Yeah, excellent delivery.
Grimmond looking to swing at that particular stage. It was ball leg stump through the gap again.
Yeah, just swinging across the line, and the ball going on with the angle.
And this is a stupendous catch. What a really good take there. That was Meg Lanning. Then this was the last wicket taken. Another good catch. Gajnabi taken by Kimmins. And that's how the wickets fell tonight. But all told, the West Indies women 106 for 8. Shoot was most expensive, but she also took the most wickets, 3 for 31.
Yeah, she did very well, and she got good support by Perry and also Kamenzi, and also Johansson did really well, really. 4 of us, she picked up 1 for 11, so she's done a good job for the team, and just bowled the only maiden of the innings.
So the Australia women will need 107 runs to win in 20 overs. We'll be back in just within 10 minutes to see how they get along in their run chase. So welcome back to Kensington Oval. We're here for the second part of this first Women's T20 International. West Indies women versus Australia women. If you missed what happened earlier, the West Indies women, they won the toss and they made 106 for 8 in their 20. So Australia will now need to get 107 to win. And Barry Wilkinson with me is Hendy Wallace.
Thanks very much, Barry. I think the Australian women will be keen to chase down this target. They would have assessed the pitch already. So first delivery there from Connell. Connell's normally been very good with the new ball for West Indies women. Shamilia Connell. Missing her usual fast bowling partner in this series.
And they're off and running. And that's going to go for 4. It was too short. And she's pulled it in the gap. And what a way to start for the Aussies.
Well, she got away with the first delivery that was short and wide. But on this occasion, there was Healy getting into her wicket and a control shot. And with the fielding restrictions in the early stages, looking to take advantage of any loose deliveries, Healy. A pretty good average there.
That's another fine shot, but they've got the sweeper in early. That's very significant because I found that for the Aussies, they had a third man and a fine leg. A couple of 4s went through that cover area. The West Indies have been smart enough to start with the sweeper to try and defend these runs.
Well, I think one of the arguments there too, Barry, was that the Australian opening bowlers were a little bit quicker and they probably expected the balls to go a little bit finer. And I don't think that Connell would be as quick, so maybe the attacking shots on her will go a lot squarer. So that's a good tactic to have the support for her square the wicket in the sweeping position.
Just one slip. So not a bad start so far for Shamila Connell. Just that short ball that went for 4, but other than that, Hendy, she's been on the moon.
Yeah, it seems a little bit short at the moment, on the short side of her length. And I think ideally she'd probably want to just get a little bit fuller in length. If there's going to be any movement with this new ball, she would probably just need to get a little bit fuller.
That's a really good delivery. Pace, bounce, and movement. Can't ask for it better than that.
Looked like a bit of an effort ball there from Connell. Just put a lot of in at the last moment, and a bit of bounce as well seemed to surprise the batter. Mooney, you just saw the head snapping back. So that will be some form of encouragement for Connell.
Hooked in the air and 4 runs. So she started with a bad ball and ended with 1. In between it was all right. But you'd have to say that 8 runs coming from boundaries is not what they would have wanted in the first over.
Maybe getting a little bit excited with the amount of bounce she was able to extract from this surface. And maybe looking to test out the pitch. So bright start for the Australian women so far. Off to with 2 boundaries already in the innings. There's 9 without loss in the first over.
So they're going to open the bowling with Henry. Chanel Henry. The lady from Portmore in Jamaica.
Seems very clear in her mind what she wants for her field placing. And that's good to see. I like to see the bowlers actually being very assertive in the field placing. I think a lot is left to the captains, and yes, they should be all on the same page, but I like to see the bowlers getting involved.
Yeah, but look at that field though, Henry. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but it's very awkward. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Good start. She's got a short third man, a backward point, and almost a fielder that's in touching distance.
Well, that first delivery, we saw some outswing there from Henry, so the field is really placed to support that. But if she's going to be swinging the ball, you know, the suggestion would be to try and get someone in the catching position, maybe in a slip area. So he says no one there to the right of the keeper, and ideally that would be a catching position.
Again, they've got the sweeper, so that 4 is going to be negated every time. That's good captaincy.
Obviously the slip in place now. Stefani Taylor herself going into slip. So at least that, you know, gives her a wicket taking option.
She's going to come around the wicket to Healy, which is understandable, to Mooney, correction, which is understandable. She's the left-hander. Still got that short third man. There's no slip. Holder. Leg stump knocked back. It's just fallen. That's a good wicket there from Henry. A good delivery. One pitched right up, almost in the block hole. And Mooney was caught like the sun. Scorched.
And that's what we talk about, the length. And we spoke about Connell in the previous over. There was Henry getting it full in length and giving the ball every opportunity to swing, and it did. And there was Mooney defeated with the inward movement, and you can see the delight on the face of Henry. Disappointment for Mooney. She's gone for 4, and the Australian women 10 for 1.
So the captain comes to the crease. Meg Lanning, very experienced. Just for the record, she's got 2,493 runs. Highest score of 133 not out. That's a lot at this level. And a very healthy average of 36. So if anyone can do it, Meg can.
And she's in a rich vein of form as well. We already saw her brilliance in the field, taking that absolutely marvelous catch. But she'll be looking now to make the contribution with the bat. Henry's confidence will be up. Wouldn't she just love to get one of those outswingers pitching perfectly to challenge that outside edge of Meg Lanning's bat?
Off the mark straight away. Just guiding it down to the third man.
So the first wicket for the Australian women, that of Mooney. The defense breached, but a beautiful outswinger there. Well, in-swinger to the left-handed batsman. But should be happy with that, Henry. And Barry, I mean, it's important for West Indies women, if they're going to make a fist of this, to try and get some early wickets. And they've got one so far. I have no doubt that Stefani Taylor will be looking to try and get wickets as much as possible. A good finish to the over.
So 11 for 1. A Nelson broken and separated by a division sign. The target is 107. Meg Lanning, like I said, she's easily one of the best all-time cricketers, not only for Australia but in women's cricket. 3,550 runs, 55 runs in ODIs, and then 2,493 in T20s.
Center.
But 15 centuries
Right
in
arm over.
cricket.
Very well fielded. Good cricket there from Knight.
I think that's what the West Indies women will need, that sort of energy in the field. They just need every single run.
Edged and dropped. The captain has put down one. It was a sharp chance. It was a sharp chance, but I think that she just might have grabbed at it a little bit too quick there, Hendy Wallace.
I'm just wondering if it caught her by surprise. She seemed a little late in reacting, getting down to her right side, and it seemed to get to her a little bit too soon. And she obviously is very disappointed.
I think she might have injured herself too. She's holding on to her wrist. That went really sharp, Hendy Wallace. It was very sharp chance. So this is the opportunity that they should have had their second wicket. Juicing the edge, just to right. It went a bit quicker than I think she anticipated.
Looked a little bit delayed in reaction as well. She'd be very disappointed with that.
So just a single there.
She knows the importance of picking up those early wickets.
Yeah, she seems to be crestfallen by that. She's obviously very disappointed by dropping that catch. But as captain, she knows she has to move on. Can't keep that in your mind. What a shot. That's a cracking shot for four. A bit full. And there was Healy. Placement was what's important there. 4 runs.
Yeah, that one was a full bunger on that occasion, and he already got the treatment it deserved.
That one might go for 4 as well. No, there's a fielder there.
So that's the end of over number 3, and Connell just a little bit short on that occasion, but we ruined that missed chance to Lanning. Lanning's still there. So 19 for 1, Australia women, and 3 overs completed. West Indies women had a chance to make it 2, but that chance of Lanning going to ground.
They would be inspired though, Hendy, by the fact that they were able to induce the edge. They seem to be bowling to a plan, which at the end of the day is still very important, Hendy Wallace.
Yeah, but the plan is obviously one part of it. Execution is of ultimate importance. This one is in the air.
Chance for a catch. Catch taken. So that's the second wicket. This time it's Healy that's gone. In fact, it's not Healy, it's actually, is it Lanning? Yes, it's Healy that's gone. So still a good wicket.
Again, that movement from Henry, a bit of away movement, and there was Healy guilty of playing slightly against the swing and got a leading edge. That was a very good catch by the debutante. You know, she'd be pleased with that. Every single moment in this game she will be looking to celebrate. And that was a good catch. It was in the air for a long time, but Healy goes. Henry picks up her second wicket, and the Australians just toughened a bit at 19 for 2.
So the new batsman is Elise Perry. She's also a pretty good batsman. 1,065 runs, high score of 103. High score of 60 rather. You just get the impression, Hendy, that the West Indies women seem buoyed by this performance.
Well, that's what wickets does. You know, when you get a wicket, it really does give a lift to the team. And you can see even with Henry there is a pep in her step.
Good delivery, just in that chord of uncertainty. Had to play, didn't have a chance to free her arms.
She's very comfortable bowling the full length. Easy single on that occasion. But she's got the confidence, Henry, to bowl a full length. It's brought her some success so far.
Setter stop.
Elise Perry now coming on strike. And she too has been in fantastic form in this series.
Bowler, right arm over.
And this will be a key partnership for the Australian women. And the West Indies women will recognize the importance of trying to break this partnership.
Loud appeal there for LBW, but I think two things went against her. Might have been an inside edge, and was also going down leg.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on the first one. We've been seeing a few deliveries really tailing from Henry. I'm just wondering if that one was probably holding its own, but definitely inside edge that would have done it.
Yeah, ultra edge confirmed there was an inside edge. Lovely shot. Mind the gap. That's 4.
What a class shot there from Elise Perry. And if she was slightly off in her execution, the delivery before, this one is actually perfect. You know, getting the hands through it and also picking the gap. Not much of a gap, but she picked the gap.
So we've got 4 overs gone, 24 for 2. Lanning's there, that's going to be a key one. Perry as well. This is a partnership that the Australians will want to build on.
And we talk about the full length from Chanel Henry. Again, getting that ball right up there. We saw Healy batting outside of the crease, trying to negate the swing, but playing slightly against it, getting the leading edge. And that's a very good catch indeed. And no wonder that she's so happy. Yeah. And they're all impressed with it. So very good work indeed.
So Connell, she's going to start her third. Has the pitch played true to form, Andy Wallace?
Definitely so. I think it's been it's got some pace and bounce.
Come a little this way.
For all the bowlers, we saw the wrist spinner getting some bounce as well.
Right arm over.
And all the fast bowlers were comfortable when they put their backs into it. They would get in some extra bounce as well. We saw even Connor, who I think is a little bit too short in this spell. We saw once or twice she was able to bang the ball into the pitch and it got up, you know, around about shoulder height.
Seen a sensible approach from Perry and Lanning so far. I thought Healy and Mooney tried to be a bit too aggressive early on. Chasing 107 just calls for cool head. It's not 150.
Well, that's always the case too when there's not a huge target. You know, they can pace themselves, but they would have assessed this surface as well and really want to make it count.
Oh, direct hit. She would have been in trouble. But rewind to the delivery, and you have to say that Connell continues to be too short.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that is part of the plan, but that was just mistimed, and it just gave the captain the opportunity to get around to her right, and with a direct hit, she certainly would have been short of her ground.
Another single there. I saw umpire Jonathan Blaze was on the ready to make a decision. I think he got the memo that there's no third umpire. So he knows now he has to make the decision.
Well, they've been spoiled recently, haven't they? I mean, you know, umpires very rarely make any line calls now. They refer to their colleagues upstairs. But Connell in this spell has become a little bit predictable, and you notice that the batters are sitting back and just waiting to run the ball just behind square with no real risk.
That one was short again, but it was a bit closer to the off stump. She was unable to free her arms and choke for room.
Well, being consistently short, it means then that the batters can premeditate, so to speak. It's a lovely shot, using the width presented on that occasion and smashing it down to the backward point position. So a little bit of a disappointment there for Connell. She is a bit expensive, none for 25 over 3 overs, and the Australia women 32 for 2.
The difference there between that ball and the previous is that she had the width. She had the width to free her arms, whereas even though the previous balls were short, she was choked for room. So she got the length right, but she had the line wrong. Carved that one. Let's have a look at the 2 wickets that have fallen. This is the
Henry, in contrast, the Connells have been very economical and also very successful, picking up the 2 wickets so far.
should be a wide. Yeah, signal wide now by umpire Jonathan Blades.
Still getting the movement there is Henry, but starting that one too wide and going wider.
Oh, it's just borderline wide, but she got away with it. And a dot ball.
Yeah, very borderline indeed. Flirting with danger. And Perry probably advised to be going after that.
That's where Henry wants to bowl. not giving the batsman room, getting the balls to swing as well. Backed up by some good fielding. They've got back those two fielders at the point region. A backward point and the standard point position. What a beautiful delivery. That's a Jaffa.
Yeah, she'll be pleased with that. And you look at the replay, look at she's gone a little bit wider on the crease and just angling it in, and then the ball swinging away. Excellent delivery. Excellent delivery.
Again, that one is just a little wide, but not wide enough to be called wide. 6 overs gone. They need 107 there, 35 for 2.
Impressive stuff there from Chanel Henry. We spoke about her economy, but she also made a contribution by picking up the wickets. Here was the first wicket, and we saw where Mooney was comprehensively bowled by that end swinging delivery from Henry. And then another full-length delivery, this time to Healy, looking to clip it through the leg side. Only succeeded in getting a leading edge, and a very good catch there by Gajnabi on debut.
Bowling change. The bowler's right arm over.
So Henry Wallace, who has never played women's cricket, as expected. I'm going to be joined by someone who has, and that's Charlene Tate. She's played with some aplomb for Barbados and the West Indies. Someone whispered to me that Henry didn't play women's cricket, but he bowled like a woman, very slow. Don't know about that one. So we're going to have Shanetta Grumman coming to bowl. Charlene, talk me through Grumman. What does she really bowl?
She bowls off bricks. She's a very pretty good bowler. She bowls a decent line and knife.
That's really good. Again, cramp for room. She wanted to hit. She just didn't have the room to swing her arms.
Yes, 2 dot balls so far from her, which is very good.
This time it goes high. It should land safely. And it's gone for 4.
Keep working, Graham. Keep working.
A little too pitched up at the moment, so she'll look to get back her line with those 2 balls she bowled before.
Keep thinking, Grammy. Keep thinking, buddy.
They've now made a change of move the mid on to a long on. So, wayward delivery.
Two runs there. She lost her line, but she needs to find it back. Don't let the Australians get away right now. This partnership is also going to determine how things go.
Oh, well bowled, girl. Keep bowling, Graham. Keep bowling.
Quick single there by Lanning.
Keep working, girl. Keep
Got it
working.
quite easily in the end.
So we've had 7 overs gone, 42 for 2. Lanning, 100% strike rate. She's got 18 for 18. Do you think the captain's going to think about bringing herself on?
I think she should, because usually she gets that early wicket when she decides to come on a little bit too late. Have Afi Fletcher replacing Chanel Henry She had a very decent ODI series. Was bowling well, getting some bumps and turn.
Alfie Fletcher, is she the lone Grenadian in the team? I don't think they're. Yeah, she's the only Grenadian in the side. And that name Fletcher's outstanding in terms of Grenada. Of course, I don't think she's family to Andre Fletcher, but he's been doing pretty well in the CPL as usual.
Hard work, hard work.
She's a current captain for the Winner Islands.
Keep working, keep working, buddy, keep working. Yes, yes. Then come around. I will keep tanking, yes, I will keep tanking. Then come around. Ha.
That's good bowling. She's fighting the ball, but keeping it close.
Keep working, guys, keep working.
Yeah, she has really picked up in her bowling and she's doing pretty well for the West Indies with me. Alfie Fletcher.
Keep working, buddy. Keep working, guys, keep working.
Should just be one, and it is a single. What do you think she's trying to do here, Shirley, in terms of her line and length to both Perry and Lanning?
Oh, she's pitching it up so like they're mostly driving and aren't getting the singles as much. So right now she's doing a pretty good job.
Oh, quick single. And a
Right,
bit of
so
a
that
pressure
made
there.
them- They took that quick single right now because she's bowling pretty decent at the moment.
Down the leg side and a bit high.
Over.
8 overs gone, 45 for 2. Perry's got 8, Lanning's got 20, a run ball 20 as well.
Very good start by Affy. 3 runs coming off that over. After 8 overs, Australia women are 45 for 2. Connell bowled 3 overs, 25 runs. Henry, 3 overs, 10 runs, 2 wickets. Grimmer 1 over for 7. Fletcher 1 over for 3 runs.
Oh, that's a really good shot. Just 1 run.
Keep working, ladies.
One bounce, all right? The one bounce. Turn that down.
Keep working, keep working.
Australia needs another 60 runs to win. In the 9th over, bowling.
That's in the air, but it's going to land safely, and it's gone for 4. Cooper gave a pretty good effort there, but I think in the end she was unaware of her surroundings, and she might have just tipped over the line. 50 as well comes up.
That's a very good single by Lanning and Perry. Down to third man, short third man. Partnership of 34.
Should be a wide. And is a wide. So we've had 9 overs gone. 54 for 2, Charlene. Would you say that the Australian women are ahead, or do you think it's still evenly poised at this stage?
I will say that they are ahead because right now 54 for 2 in 9. So right now it's easy going for them. Needs to break. Stefani needs to break the partnership. So, but we have Afi Fletcher continuing. So she will hope to take a wicket here very quick.
That's where she wants to bowl.
Good stuff by Afi Fletcher. 2 dot balls to begin with.
Very firm drive.
These two are getting the singles pretty easy. West Indies would have liked to have done that a lot more up front, but they did it in the latter half of the innings.
Keep thinking, Afi, keep thinking.
Now they're going to take another single there. That's a good single as well. That's good bowling there from Afi Fletcher. Halfway stage, they need 107. They're 56 for 2. We're going to have a change in the commentary now. Roland Butcher is going to come a-calling.
We have McLean on 27. Elise Perry is on 11. Afi Fletcher is also bowling tight, so we need to have another bowler in keeping down the runs as well, or try to pick up wickets. We have a change in bowling. Gajnabi is about to come on.
Right arm over. New bowler, right arm over.
Yes, an excellent start by the Australians. 56 for 2 at the halfway stage. And Gajnabi is pretty impressive, I thought, with the bat. Let's see how she's stacks up with the ball. And I thought she rotated the strike nicely in her short innings
Yeah, she did support the captain pretty well. She had a run a ball 10, so it was pretty good.
Yeah, and that first delivery, bang on target. And McLean going along nicely, run a ball. And I think West Indies at this stage in need of some wickets.
Yes, they're in need of wickets because they need only 50 more runs to win. So some quick wickets could see Australia in a bit of bother.
Yes, and a very good single take on there between these two batsmen. Very experienced, both of these players. Obviously just dropping the ball and responding. Yes, and Gajnabi concentrating outside the off stump, and this delivery going past the outside edge as the batsman is trying to run that one down to third man.
Well done, girl.
49 from 54 balls Australia women needs. So as we said earlier, that West Indies is in need of some quick wickets.
Yes, they very much need some wickets. Australia pretty well set. And that one that outside the off stump, like to see that one again because the batsman looking as if that was a wide, but didn't get the call. The over comes to an end, and I thought it was a good first over by Gajnabi. She did good find. Young lady playing her first game. I thought she batted fairly well, and now just conceding 2 runs in her first over. So a very good start.
Yes, as I said before that, Afi Fletcher is keeping it tight at one end, so to see Gajnabi come and bowl her first over for 2 runs, that's very good.
Yeah, Fletcher's also had a good start to her in her third over now.
Good work, Shabs. Good work, yes. Keep working, Eddie.
Just restricting the batsman to the single, and the 2 wickets. Obviously Henry picking up both wickets.
Well done.
And what would be good would be a lot more dot balls as well. If you're not getting the wickets, some dot balls would build pressure.
That's not what's needed. A loose delivery there, put away down to deep square, and score goes into the 60s now. Very good shot with that ball, pitching outside the leg stump. Let's have a look at this one. Outside the leg stump, excellent shot. Swept away down to deep square, brings a boundary, and a welcome boundary for Australia. And they're now in over number 12, they're inching towards this victory.
That ball is played down between backward point and short third man for 4.
Yeah, excellent placement there by Lanning. That wasn't that short of a delivery, but she made it into a very good, into the length. And cut. Had to beat those 2 fielders there. The ball was fairly well up. That's an excellent shot because she played it late and the placement was spot on. And brings another boundary. She goes to 36, and 2 boundaries back to back.
Well done.
Better delivery there by Fletcher. Yes.
Oh,
The partnership moves on to 49. So good going by these two.
An excellent run in there between these two batsmen, just dropping the ball on the offside and picking up an easy single there, and just the release that Australia needed in that over. Slowed down for a while, and Fletcher pitching the first one outside the leg stump, which was swept away, released the pressure, and then that very good shot back with a point, which brought another boundary. So Lanning now starting to accelerate, and there's 39 required for victory. As we see the crowd here, they're certainly enjoying this crowd. Yes, and Taylor making a good stop at backward point. I don't know whether she's damaged something. She's looks perhaps maybe the hand is a strapping on the finger, but she doesn't look happy.
That's the 50 partnership between McLean and Elise Perry from 57 deliveries.
Yes,
So
driven
good
Taylor.
partnership here so far.
Yeah, Taylor does well, moves to her left, but in doing that, obviously, there is some pain. 50-run partnership between these two batsmen, and a very good one too. And really two very experienced players at the crease for Australia, and Lanning showing what a good player she is. Yeah, she's certainly one of the best in women's cricket, no question about that, and her results shows that. Lovely shot.
That's a very beautiful
a quality shot there by McLean on the onside.
Through mid-wicket.
And just flicked away through mid-wicket, brings her another boundary. She goes into the 40s, and what a lovely shot that was. Pure timing. Let's have a look. Wasn't the worst delivery, but the timing was exquisite. Lots of wrist, and just flicked it through the onside and brings us another boundary. So she goes to 42 and scoring out 74 and easing towards that target, Charlie.
The run seems to be coming very easy at this moment now. Another single by McLean.
Yes, the front end of that over. This partnership now worth some 56. With Lanning on 43, Perry on 14, 75 for 2, and Australia, that partnership's come up in 61 balls and 33 minutes. And really, Australia now easing towards this target, and these two most experienced players in this form of the game really taking Australia home.
I also think that Stefani should really bring herself on right now, because it's really getting away.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, she certainly is one of the better bowlers, and she needs to be in the attack, and pretty soon, because it may just be a little bit too late. By the time she comes in, she hasn't bowled the deliveries in this innings.
And we have 13 overs gone already. Well, ball by Fletcher. Some turn there.
Yeah, Fletcher now in her fourth over. And that's a very good delivery there, beating the batsman on the stretch. Yeah, and she's been pretty tidy to this stage, getting the ball right up to the batsman. It's a lovely shot. good cricket, good return coming in there, and Fletcher keeping the ball well up to the batsman. Manning just six short of a half century. It would be a very good one if she gets there. And it's given. It's given. Perry not looking at all happy with the decision, but she's got to go. We'll see what that delivery's done. Certainly giving out LBW. And there we go. Delivery's there. It's pitched right up. She's a long way down on the forward. Struck perhaps on the back. And appealed by the wicketkeeper and the bowler, and Perry has to go. So Fletcher gets the wicket, and in her fourth over she's now got 1 for 16. And Perry, this is the first time that she has been dismissed since July, so she's had it. Yeah, since July against England was the last time she was dismissed. So really West Indies, perhaps, Charlene, they have now broken that record.
Well, this
looks like Gardner is the new batsman.
Yes, Ashley Gardner is now at the crease. So a good wicket for the West Indies women.
Yeah,
so
I think Fletcher deserved that. I think she's been very tidy, and obviously just 2 balls away from the end of her spell, but she's picked up that 1 wicket. I don't think it'll make a great difference to the overall game. Yeah, wide call there. Good take by the keeper, but misdirected down the leg stump. Let's see this wicket again. Fletcher, she's on the front foot, long way out. Ball goes in between bat and pad, and out, up goes the finger.
Keep working.
It's good bowling by Fletcher again. A single to Gardner. Lanning is on strike.
Gardner gets off the mark straight away, brings Lanning into the strike. And a lovely delivery to finish her spell, finish the over and finish her spell. Good figures there for Fletcher. And this is a very good delivery. Brings the batsman on the front foot, turn, goes away. Can't find the outside edge. Lovely piece of bowling by Fletcher. She's now finished her spell. 4 overs, no maiden, 1 for 18. She's done very well.
Well done by Afi Fletcher. Her bowling has improved a whole lot. So it's good to see that she's doing a good job for the West Indies women.
Yeah, she's done an excellent job, but with 6 overs remaining, that target now down to 29, and Meg Lanning still there at the crease. So really Australia very much in control at the moment. West Indies really, they've got to come up with some answers. They need 2 or 3 quick wickets to make this into a contest.
Well, we are not still seeing Stefani in the attack. She brought back Chanel Henry, who took the 2 wickets before. So she's putting the trust into Chanel Henry to take another.
Yeah, and Henry's had a good time so far. She's now into her 4th over, and she's got 2 for 10. So the figures look pretty good. And as you say, she picked up those 2 wickets right at the beginning. That first delivery spot on. Yeah, full delivery. Brings the single, so Lanning now goes. Gardner gets a 2nd run now, brings Lanning on strike.
That's another good ball by Henry. Played out to the sweeper for a single.
Yeah, can't prevent the single. Pitched that delivery. Nice time and just stroked it into the offside. And Lanning now goes to 45. And they will get the single after an excellent piece of fielding there at mid-off. The throw just coming in wide. It's a good piece of fielding there. I think it's McLean there at mid-off. She moved very nicely to her left, swiveled and threw, and the bowler Henry, not being able to stop the ball, deflected it away and gave a single up. So now 26 required. Yeah, short and wide, and a little bit of pace on that one. Outside the off stump. Yeah, Henry banging that one into the turf, just going close to that blue line, but the right side of the blue line. Yeah, and they come back for the second, and well run. And that's the end of the over. So Lanning, she is on 47, and just what, 24 more required for victory. And the card here, Healy made 12, both Mooney 4, Lanning, she's on 47, and the third wicket to go down Perry. Barbados to Fletcher 14. So 83 for 3. We've got 5 overs remaining, and Australia moving along nicely.
We have Henry bowling her 4 overs for 15 runs, 2 wickets, which is her best bowling figures. So well done to Henry.
Yeah, she's had a good night. She started the rock, picked up those 2 early wickets, and she's bowled really well. Picked up 2 early wickets, and now she's finished her 4 over spell. So she'll be quite pleased with her night's work.
Yes, she should be, because 4 overs. 4 overs, 15 runs, 2 wickets. That's very good.
Yes, and there's still no Stefani Taylor. So obviously that injury is obviously affecting her. So I don't think we will see her today. But it looks like Gajnabi again. You know, I think Gajnabi's had a promising debut. I think like what I've seen. Her batting, I thought was good. She understood her role. She played very nicely with our captain, and she hasn't done badly with the ball either. And that's 4
a little bit
shot
there.
And a little bit wide, and perhaps the batsman not aiming in that area. The ball was pitched up, aiming more towards the cover region, but the timing was such, and the ball just sped away to the boundary, so brings up another boundary.
Good drive there by Gardner, straight to Stacy-Ann King, who's on the cover boundary.
Yeah, and Gardner, you know, Gardner's done well. I thought she bowled quite well also tonight, and now she's fashioning a partnership here with Lanning. I think Gajnabi's, she's certainly looking as if there's something to work with there. I think quite impressive what she's done so far.
Yeah, she's on her debut, so the coaches have someone to work with in the future, looking good.
And one important thing she's done so far, she has bowled one side of the wicket, which is important. aggressive running will bring 2, and good cricket. Yeah, much a better throw perhaps would have threatened the batsman, but very good run in there to a nice shot.
Another bowler we haven't seen is Stacy-Ann King as well.
Yeah, let's see this delivery. It's a nice flowing drive. The batsman running hard. That one stroked nicely up to mid off, and the over comes to an end. 4 remaining. Australia now at 92 for 3. Just 15 runs, and Stacy-Ann King there going around the boundary, who did the fielding. Perhaps a much more powerful throw perhaps would have threatened the batsman going for the second run.
Roland, do you reckon that if it was about 160 runs, we had a game on our hands?
Well, I think Australia perhaps would have played a little bit differently as well. They would have been a bit more aggressive, and perhaps, 160 I think would have been a good game, but you would have expected that the Australia would have played certainly different to how they've played now, because they've gone along nicely without really having to up the scoring rate, because just over 100 is not a lot of runs. So basically the next milestone really here is McLean, and she's on 48, and she'll be looking for another half century. And if she gets it, it will be her 13th. It will be her 13th half century if she gets up there. She's already scored 200s as well. So you can see the value of this player to this Australian side. Yes, and Griman. Oh, and that delivery nearly crept through. Tossed up delivery there by Griman, and just sneaking past the outside edge. And Hendy Wallace, who has now joined me. Hendy, Australia doing this nicely.
Yeah, I guess the final rights now, Butch. And I suppose that Stefani Taylor's taking the opportunity to see exactly what the new charges have to offer. Griman coming into the attack. Looks a fairly decent off spinner. Good action.
Yeah, I think Hendy, I've been pretty impressed both with Griman and Gajnabi. I think both of these, nice action.
Yeah, strong action, very strong at the crease. And I heard you and Charlene speaking about Gajnabi. It certainly looks like some skills you can work with. And the thing about Griman coming in, obviously not a lot of runs to play with now at this stage. Just another 13 runs. I'm not sure if Stefani Taylor is 100% fit to bowl. There's good commitment there as well.
Yeah, excellent fielding, because that was a nicely timed shot. And she moves quickly into position. Nice flighted delivery, and good hand on that one.
Yeah, showing very good commitment indeed. She's probably feeling the effects now, but instinctively she actually made the effort to try and save it, so that's good.
Well, Griman's very good over there, and these 3 overs now have cost 18, then perhaps that was one of the better ones.
Yeah, you could see she was growing in confidence as well, so that's always encouraging. As I said, Stefani Taylor looking at all of her options, especially the younger bowlers getting involved. And we see the batting lineup for the Australians, of course, McLean, the captain, being solid there, run a ball 49. And a couple of partnerships in that innings. but Lanning really being the mainstay as they chase down this target.
Yes, and really, and for West Indies, 2 wickets there for Henry in her 4 overs, 2 for 15. And Fletcher, she got 1 for 18 in her 4 overs. And Connell, just the 3 overs also. Gajnabi. And it looks like Gajnabi's coming back again for another spell.
Well, she's on debut, and I think she's enjoyed her outing so far. She took a very good catch to dismiss Elise Healy. I was just looking at her action as well too, Butch. From a coaching perspective, certainly something to work with. And Lanning has just gone up now to 50 with that signal. So that's her 13th half century.
Yeah, very well played by McLean. Just the 6 fours, but what a contribution to this Australian side. Really, she's a tower of strength to this Australian team and plays some lovely shots in reaching that half century.
That's firmly struck, but there's protection on there. And Grimman again.
Yes, and one thing that's impressed me about Gajnabi's bowling, Hendy, is that she has bowled one side of the wicket.
And they're probably going to look for a second run, but Stacy-Ann King has got a very good arm indeed. And they've decided against it. Yes, the control from Gajnabi has been quite impressive. Just looking at her action there, just wonder if she could probably just hold that front arm up a little bit longer. It seems to be collapsing a little quickly. And this one's in the air. There's a chance of a catch. It's not going to be easy, but she's taken a very good catch. And McLean running back there from the mid extra cover position. And you're really pleased there for Gajnabi as well, because that's her first international wicket, getting the wicket on debut.
Yeah, she'd be very happy with that. Yeah, her first wicket at this level, and West Indies team coming together there to celebrate that wicket. Obviously, they'll finally lose this game, but victory there for Gajnabi, picking up her first wicket. Gardner advancing on the wicket, and a very good catch here taken by McLean, because it's away from her. She misjudged it, but eventually made up for it, and the delight in taking that catch.
So Gardner goes for 13, and the Australian is now 97 for 4.
Yes, and Australia losing a wicket, and looks like Haynes is the new batsman, and Lanning still there on 51, really has held this innings together, just like Stefani Taylor did at number 3 as well for West Indies.
So Haynes will come on straight right away, and she's really here because of part of a very good catch taken up by McLean extra cover. There was Gardner looking to go over the top and probably slightly mistiming that one, and that was a very good catch as well. Understandably pleased.
Yeah, celebration there by McLean and Stacy-Ann King. She's very happy with that catch.
Well, probably not as happy as this young lady here, taking her first wicket on debut, and her figures are pretty good so far. Just one delivery left to complete her 4-over allotment, and 1 for 22 so far.
Yeah, very, very impressive. Very impressive.
So that's the end of over number 18. And the Australia women now 99 for 4, within touching distance but Gajnabi has completed a very good spell indeed. 4 overs, 1 for 23.
Yeah, she looks very happy with her night's work, and so she should, because I thought she batted well. She's now completed her 4 overs. As I say, she's picked up the 1 wicket. She's taken the catch, and she's got very much involved with the field setting as well, Hendy. Not someone who is on debut and looks very nervous. She looks very involved with the game, and she's done very well.
So Afi Fletcher has already completed her allotment. So Stefani Taylor is looking to bring it home for the Windies.
Yeah, well, she's obviously 2 overs remaining.
No, I don't think she is. No, I think
just 4 over.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Connell coming in. You see that strapping on the finger of Stefani Taylor? That probably has contributed to her not bowling in this innings. So the strapping looks quite heavy on that right hand for Stefani Taylor.
Yeah, and Connell's been a little bit expensive to date. Her 3 overs costing her some 25 runs. Being asked to bowl now at a crucial stage, really, because just 2 overs remaining and 8 runs.
Yeah, with 8 runs to win, if you can bowl a maiden here now, that would make it interesting, wouldn't it? Just be 1 on that occasion. Again, Gajnabi down at the long leg position.
Over the wicket to you.
Some good work.
Brings Lanning on strike, and the 100 up for Australia. 100 for 4, of which Lanning has got 52 of those, and just takes him within 7 runs of victory.
And there the captain, Stefani Taylor, just ensuring that everything is in place. She's still going to continue to fight all the way to the very end. But Lanning just looks in total control. Really epitomizes the innings. 53 or 53 balls, and she always looked in control. We saw one mistake really where the catch was missed at slip, but apart from that, she's been in total control throughout this innings. Good tactics here by the West Indies to get those fielders in the circle to start a little bit closer with Haynes on strike. Maybe just forcing Haynes to try and do something a little bit more aggressive to pierce that field. There's some protection out there, so just 1 run. So at the moment, Haynes is finding the fielders.
Yes, so Lanning now back on strike, and just 5 runs for victory, and
good placement there for easy single. So we talk about Lanning's innings being in control, but early on, West Indies women had a chance. Where healthy edge going very quickly to Stefani Taylor at slip, and I think they'll be ruining that chance now.
yeah, and Taylor seemed to be going to her left when the ball was to her right. Stefani Taylor, and couldn't get back to her right quick enough to take the catch, and that was an important one because Lanning has certainly made them pay.
that was well struck, and that was 4 runs, but was very well struck. And we think that probably will be it.
Yes, a drop catch here, as this one is. But and the game is it's all over, and Australia have won this game, and deservedly so. Not the way they would have wanted to have won it, Henry Wallace, on a drop catch, but drop catch and a boundary, that's what it was.
Well, I think it was the penalty for the no ball, and then it was a free hit. So, in any event, the catch, if the catch was taken, would have made a difference. But they've taken it to the, into the 18th over. But we believe it was a free hit at the time. So there was Haynes taking the opportunity and to go for the big hit, parried by the fielder into the boundary for 4.
Yes, as you said, free hit, it wouldn't have made any difference, but just the 1 run would have been, the bowler would have been happy with that. But well played, McLean. Another half century, another victory for Australia. And what a responsible knock she has played for her team.
Yeah, leading her team to victory. I think that's the 11th time that the two teams have met, and the West Indies only winning 1, which would have been the final. So you would say that Australia have certainly got the run on the West Indies side. And we talk about West Indies women's side that is depleted significantly with the absence of at least 3 or 4 of their regulars, not to mention two of their players being some of the best players in the world. So that leaves a gaping hole in this particular squad. But I think what is important, and you look to take any positives from this, is the fact that they've been able to take this very strong Australian women's team all the way to 18 overs, defending a relatively small total. And I think that Australia now will be really looking to see how best they can bring on some more of their players. When you look at the batting here, McLean and the stand-up performer there, a couple of contributions from Healy, Perry and Gardner, but Lanning doing the bulk of the scoring there. A good run of ball, 54. That 54 comprises of some 6-4s in that innings.
Yes, and apart from Mooney, everybody got a start really in the Australian innings, and Australia got home. Yes, and that's a good delivery by Henry. The first delivery round the wicket, the ball just swinging in, and Healy being comprehensively bowled. And then this one's flicked high in the air, and it's a very well judged catch there by Gajnabi, the debutante, taking a very good catch to get rid there of Beth Mooney. And Fletcher now getting the LBW decision as Perry is on the stretch. And Gajnabi picking up her first wicket. Very good catch here by Natasha McLean, who misjudged it but eventually clung onto it with both hands. Absolutely delighted with that effort. And just not enough to take West Indies to a victory.
Well, I think that we look at the makeup of the two sides. On the surface that they played on, I think the batters really would have wanted to do a lot better on this pitch, and Lanning was probably the only person who really did it consistently. And these are some of the shots that we saw from Meg Lanning.
Yeah, that's a beautiful shot up a square drive, and this one now is picked up, man. It's a long way down the ground, Henry Wallace. I think you would have been proud of that. And yeah, I mean, 2 very good shots there. Again, lovely use of the feet, and just getting it out. Misfield there on the boundary, but outside the leg stump, swept away there by Lanning, another boundary, and that's a very good shot. Andy Wallace played it very late and just dissected the two fielders behind point. And once again, that's a lovely shot as well, just using the pace of the delivery and a flick of the wrist, and a very good innings by a very good player.
Excellent batting indeed, and really taking on the responsibility as captain, leading from the front, and putting that innings together. I heard the discussions earlier about, you know, if it was a bigger score on the board, how exactly they would have approached the batting, but West Indies would have been very disappointed with the efforts in the first innings. And here we have a look at some of the dismissals for the West Indies. Cooper at the start, just playing all around a straight delivery from Schultz. And then we saw Boyce, after hitting a free hit for 6, being totally in a tangle there, trying to work that one into the leg side, and only succeeded in getting a leading edge and a bit of a wave goodbye there from Schultz to Boyce. There's Stacy-Ann King then. There was a loud appeal for LBW, and we think that King was really trying to get away from the scene of the crime and venturing out of her ground, and good work there with a direct hit at the striker's end. McLean, who too had a big shot for 4, then totally undone by an excellent delivery there from Perry. I believe that was a quicker delivery as well, and she was done for pace. Grimman going for a big slog, looking to hit that one somewhere over mid-wicket, and totally deceived by a flatter, faster delivery from the left-arm spinner. Henry, I think when she struck this one, she thought, you know, she was in business, but didn't make provisions for Meg Lanning to bring off an absolutely fantastic catch at that extra cover position. And the last wicket, the debutante, Gajnabi, looking to go for glory, going for a big hit, and only succeeded in slicing that one to short third man, where the overhead catch was taken. So disappointing efforts there from the West Indies women in the batting. They would have loved to have had another 30 or 40 runs on that board to really put a little bit more pressure on the Australian women.
Yes, and I think when West Indies look back and look at the mode of dismissals, Hendy, I don't think they'll be very happy with the way the wickets went down. A number of wickets were just a swing across the line, missing a straight delivery and getting balls, so they wouldn't be happy with that.
So the squad just going through their warm downs now, as the schedule here we've seen so far. The first of the T20s here at Kensington. Australia winning that one comfortably by 6 wickets. And there are 2 more T20 matches to come on September 16th and September 18th. West Indies women will be hoping to put on a better show, and in conditions that are really good for cricket as well.
Yes, Andy. I mean, these 3 matches here at Kensington Oval, I think, will be very, very important for a number of players. As you said, the first one today, obviously, didn't. You know, I thought the pitch was pretty good, so it was a good pitch. I thought today, Andy, for this first one. Let's hope the other 2 pitches are of similar nature, and that West Indies can really perform a little bit better in those next 2 matches, because today.
Well, I guess that's where the coaching staff will come in with a look at this particular performance, look at the areas where they made some errors, and we'll see exactly how they come up for the next 2 T20 matches. So let's go down to Barry and see who he's got to have a chat with.
So congratulations then to the Australian women winning this first T20 by 6 wickets. Presentation ceremony time now. I've got the losing captain with me, Stefani Taylor. Stefani, unfortunately, going down in this first T20, what do you think would have been the major thing that went wrong for you tonight?
Well, we didn't get the start that we actually wanted, with the bat. Batters didn't capitalize on the power play, and we lost wickets at regular intervals, and it wasn't good. So we were always on the back foot, so never really get the chance to go.
Did the pitch play true to form? Was 107 a real indication as a target on this surface?
I think 130 would have been a really good target. With saying that, I thought the Aussie bowled really well. They got some bounce there and movement off the pitch, so challenged the batters a bit. I think for us it's more, we need to be a bit tighter and a bit more positive when, in the next game.
Got a one-day rest and then you're on to the next match on Monday. What's going to be the plan then for Monday's game?
Well, it's basically batters going in the nets and look at the footage and see what they need to work on, and basically replicate that when they go out there on Monday.
All right, well, I wish you all the best for that match on Monday.
Thanks.
All right, that's Stefani Taylor, of course, the captain of the West Indies women. And now we're going to have a double presentation. We're going to have the player of the match, and of course that player of the match tonight happens to be the captain, of course, of the Australian women, Meg Lanning. She's going to receive her player of the match award from Stephen Leslie, who of course is the director of cricket at the Barbados Cricket Association. Meg playing a wonderful innings tonight. Meg, another half century, you batted really well, you captained the team as equally good. Are you happy with how the match is finished?
Happy with the result. Probably was a little bit closer than we would have liked. I thought our bowling innings was pretty good. Obviously early wickets help, and we couldn't quite nail it with the bat, but it was nice to get over the line.
Your personal form has been excellent. You're the leading run scorer in all formats. How does that really make you feel?
Well, look, it's nice to contribute. I bat in that number 3 position, so I do get the opportunity to bat for a little bit of time, and in T20 cricket you probably have a little bit more time than you think, so it was nice to see the team home today. It's important when you do get in situations like that, you're able to get the team home, so that was nice.
Only got a day to rest. What's going to be the plan for the next 24 to 48 hours?
We'll do some recovery tomorrow, and then we've got training in the afternoon, I think, so it's a pretty quick turnaround, but that's pretty good. We love playing, so it's nice that the game will come around pretty quick.
You're here at Kensington, a very ground-rich in history. How have you found the conditions and how did you find the pitch?
Yeah, the conditions are great. It's a great stadium. The pitch was pretty good. At times it was a little bit poppy. Found it a little bit hard to time the ball. But in general, the conditions really good, and we've loved our time over here in the West Indies.
All right. Well, congratulations. I look forward to seeing you again on Monday.
Thank you.
That's Meg Lanning. Her half century, unbeaten half century, of course, was good enough tonight not only to win the game for the Australian women, but also to cop the Player of the Match award. Let's take it back upstairs to Hendy and Roland.
Thank you very much, Barry. So there we see the Australian actually finishing up the match there. Meg Lanning, the Player of the Match, being the dominant person in that batting card, 108 for 4. And the bowling for the West Indies women. There we see that 2 wickets there for Chanel Henry and 1 for Fletcher, who was they were probably the 2 best bowlers on show. Connell probably a little bit expensive at the top there, but just the 4 wickets taken by the West Indies women. But they were able to take it into the 19th over, so they'll take some credit from that. But the result here tonight, the Australian women winning by 6 wickets, and we will certainly look forward to seeing you again on Monday night for the second T20 International, West Indies women and Australia women. We thank you very much for joining us. See you on Monday.